Welcome back, everybody, to Bluebirds Cove. I have dug myself into a hole, and I think I'm going to build myself out of it. I've also just discovered a brand new Minecraft glitch that I've never seen before, and we're just getting started on the episode. This is fantastic. I have never ever come across this problem. Look at that. Something new. Maybe it's something old, but that's kind of cool. All right, let's not mess around too much. So, what I was saying is we are going to be building some stuff. We're going to build our way out of a hole that I've quite literally just created. And the point of us building a hole, which could seem kind of boring, I mean, it is just a plain boring hole in the ground. But the thing with it is, it's going to be special because it's going to be a hole going to the sewer. And I'm not even sure if this is a thing that exists. I'll be completely honest with you, but I want it to exist, and that's why I'm making a sewer hole going to the entrance of the world, and that's the whole point of it. Well, not the entrance of the world, the surface of the world, and of course we're already getting straight into it with some nap times. Although, let's just stop here. Let's just take it in. Wonderful. Just look at the lighting and stuff. There are a few little things which we're going to be doing to touch up the area. Look at that. Those there, I don't like them. We're going to change them. There's a few other things. Oh, this new shiny new area. New stuff that has been added. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be adding in. Just the little details around here and there. Hopefully I can point them out. The goal of this is to document everything. So we'll see how well we can go with or at least close to everything. We'll see how well we can go with that. But back to our sewer hole, which is not going to be too gross, I hope. Okay, don't want to trip myself up. So here is the thought. We're going to be filling in the sides, which is building our way out of here. And we're going to fill them in with stone, andesite, stone brick, maybe even a bit of cobblestone, which I did not bring, but it's fine. As long as we can just get the basic parts of it down, we can texture it a bit later. And this is going to allow us to build a lot more in this world, because just building a little thing like this isn't too much in its own right, but it allows us to build around it and add detail in it and where it comes from, where it goes, why it's here. Adds so much more to the world than what you could even imagine. So that is what we're going to be doing with this part. We're going to build just a little hole, and then some things that I can think of, for instance, would be going out this way, which was the ocean, going out into the ocean, and having the way that the sewage comes out of this place. We could even have maybe a little bit of I mean, this is a pirate place. I mean, why could we not have people living down here? You know what I mean? We could go crazy. It doesn't have to be anything that even remotely makes sense. So if you've got some ideas for what lies in the bottom of the sewer, down which we could make more pipes, just so you know, compared to what I'm going to do here. I know it's going to look kind of simple, but you could add more pipes and we can go crazy. So you can leave those in the comment section if you've got any thoughts for who lives down here, what lives down here, or even if something doesn't live down here, what could go underneath here is just as important. So let us know. So right around here, let's take a look. Nice. Yeah, that needs a bit of love. I did not intend for those to be different to those, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Before we go, I don't want to go and add the walls in completely, because we don't have to add the walls in completely. We can just do the top, and then we can do what I wanted to do before we end up getting into the rest of this build, because it's more than a hole in the ground. It's a sewer, and that sounds so much better, right? So there and there. All right. Now this whole thing. If I say hole any more times this episode, I don't know what, but I just can't say hole any more times. It's getting weird, and yeah, I gotta stop. All right, now the idea of this is something that I thought about adding in, but I didn't really think about how it's gonna go in. I got the comment, as I say, regarding the flatness of this place. I'm like, it's very true. We have to step on that immediately. And that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and make this. So as we walk through here, because this is purely not necessarily the story-based part of this world, but it's about the design build part of this world, where we don't want to see this. Look at that. All just on one level. Whatever level that is, 60 something, 67. Where do these blocks go up? Where do they go down? There they go down. There they go up. That's not good enough. So what we want to do is we want to probably do something over here, in fact, to break it up a little bit, but that's not too important. What is more important is breaking it up in the distance so that it kind of closes off areas. If, for instance, when you're down here, this area feels nice and closed in here. This area is kind of open, but I've got plans for that area after we've gone to the end, and this area here just feels way too large. So that is what we have to think about. And what I want to do, and I'm just going to just kind of go free with this one, and we're just going to see what we come up with. We want to build this up a little bit. And what we can do is we can build it up, this big vent going to the open air, because why would you not want your sewers vented out into public? That would be a great idea. And I think what we'll do is we'll go up like this, and we'll just kind of work our way around and get a bit more height in this. And this is something we can build around, we can build into. It just offers us a good bit of space to work with. So let's go back down here like that. You can see that's broken this area off already. And then of course we'll have to add that stuff in, but that's not going to do any difference to that, of course. So why do we care? We don't care about that just yet. So as we go into this, you can see as we walk around, it makes us have to close off our view to get around there. That is very important. It's something that I don't really talk about, but it's something that is very influential in my builds, is breaking up views around the place. And that's what the giant hole in the ground, sewer in the ground, really does, is it just breaks up your view so that I didn't know, why did I do that? How did I do that was more importantly. It breaks up your view, and you can start doing some cool stuff like that. So let's just go up and down and all the way around this place. We'll see what we can do with a bit of the decorating of it and what we can come up with this hole. So here is a little thing just going around here like that, like this, and down again. And oh no, Cal, you see, this is the new strategy to make sure you don't lose as many blocks as I do. What we do is we try and save any of the broken log blocks that were unintentionally broken, end up becoming the blocks I use for planks, because they pretty much the same thing. Then I don't have any worries, and we're all good. You know what will be kind of cool? And there is a bit of a problem here. We can remove that one. We can remove that one. I can see the problem and I can see the result. So the problem here is that I want this to be at an angle. So like that and like that at a horizontal point. But this one here, we can just save instead of losing a block to the other stuff. We could just do that. So something like that. Yeah, that looks good. That looks a lot better. And this is something that is 1.13 only and up, which is fantastic. All right, now this hole just needs a little bit of love. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to step back, get something interesting here. My brain's kind of thinking about a few different things I want to try. I did bring some trapdoors. I'm going to try work them into it. I'm going to try working a few more blocks, get this interesting, and then we can jump down into it and make the place look disgusting, which is going to be great. Here's an angle that you don't see very often of Bluebirds Bay, but I think it's actually going pretty cool. I think it's looking pretty good, and this is where we're going to start working very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be pretty exciting, coming to the other sides of the place and trying to give it a bit more something. It's very, very plain. We have to think about that. It's so easy to get stuck on one side, but actually, here we go. Look at that. Improvements. Almost forgot about those. There were some. Maybe let's just do another drive-by. Let's just see what it looks like. Look at that. This was not here. This bottom piece did not exist. And it's looking mighty, mighty fun. We can even improve that. We can go, you know what? How about we do that? We'll go through an episode sometime where we just go through and we add little details to improve everything overall. And here's another one. This rope is now a spruce rope instead of an oak rope, which are things that only exist in Minecraft. I'm really collecting my boats here. I really need to stop doing this, but I keep finding boats, using boats, leaving boats, losing boats again, and then finding all my boats together again, which is very, very useful. I guess I've got to stop pulling up on that side of the island. This is what we got. Look at that. Very, very cool. What? This was meant to be mob-proofed, but I can hear a mob. Unless it's maybe in these walls, but it could be. Yeah, it sounds like it's stuck in one of these walls. That's a pity. So for everybody's sanity, we will do this and that, and then we will find it later. I don't think we're going to be crept on by a creeper or something, even though we wouldn't even hear it. So that's fine. So this is what we got going on right here. I think it's going pretty good. And there's a... what? Okay, this is... I would have thought hostile mobs, but that's friendly. You guys also are now quiet. Yeah, that makes sense. So this is what we got going on here. I think it looks pretty good. And it might seem like it's going to be lost to not being able to see it from down here, but this is where we're going to start pulling the floor up a little bit. In fact, this is next episode, so stay tuned for next episode for that, because I've got a good plan, and if you guys have had trouble building rocks, yeah, I know it's a weird thing, building terrain to some extent, oceanside terrain, but rocks in particular, I hopefully will be able to give some insight onto that, because I think we can do some cool stuff with rocks, and it's about time that we do a bit of oceanside terrain. Now here is in particular where we do need it, but let's just go out here and see how long it takes us before we get to the ocean, and hopefully we'll be about 1 block lower than the water blocks, which would have been a smart move for me to have checked before, but hey, 2 blocks. I kind of was hoping that we would have it on this level, but that's fine. It's not actually a problem if we are 1 block too low. So let's start going down here, and I've brought some goodies with us. Oh, grass even. It was unintentional goodies, but that's fine. We'll work with it and see what we do with it. So we'll get rid of these. And one cool thing that I at least I was expecting to look cool, let's see how it does look, is to go down with a slab over here for the fact of it being able to now be slabbed over. Let's just do that there like this, and a little bit more here, a little bit in there. We'll just fill these blocks in with whatever, like that. And this will now allow us, and that's fine, a few little pieces out of the water like this works perfectly. And what we'll do is we'll fill it up with some water in there, and let's just grab a bit more water. And of course it's nighttime, because who doesn't love nighttime in this game, you know what I mean? So a bit of water in there, and that fills over, and that fills over. This was actually, I was playing around the other day, and this was not happening for me, so I need to still get into the habit of what these things, how this water works, or at least get the knowledge of how this water works. Yeah, that is water that works. Let's just drop some stuff so we can store some things. Come with me, Sand. Come with me as well. And we'll drop those. We'll be back in like a few seconds anyway for him, so it's not a big deal. Let's go catch a little bit of rest, because this is not very good building weather or building time for us. And there's also a few other little improvements that I do want to make today before we go. I guess I did want to do a whole episode on improving things, but I think we'll make some improvements to this area before we leave it, because it's right next to the area that we're building on right now. And that is, I want to try changing the palm trees over to 2 varieties of palm trees. We've got this gray one, which I think is actually probably more physically correct to what palm trees look like. And then I want to also change over the other one. Let's get this. And I did not store the stuff that I planned on storing, so we might be in a bit of trouble. And let's do a little thing like this. Not that, although some variation might be good. We'll create a little rope net. And I'm not too sure if this is meant to be rope or if this is going to act as though it's wood. But we've done this before on a ship. Let's just check what that looks like. Yeah, it's kind of confusing, but I do like it. We've done this before on a ship for a cargo hold, and I think that works fantastically. Now, one thing, here is something. If we could get something to the game, and I know this is, maybe this is possible, and someone could tell me, and we can maybe discuss whether or not this is a good thing to do or a bad thing to do, and if it's too far. But, and I'm down for the discussion of it. With this area down here, imagine if this water was the swamp-colored water. If this little part here was the swamp biome, I would love to know if there is a way, first of all, currently to do it, I'm sure there is, to make just that area swamp. And then the other thing would be whether or not that would be a good idea, because I think that would look so good, having swamp water in here and then having the ocean water there. Could you imagine the type of difference that would make to your world, looking at that, just those little details? Man, I would love that. In fact, I was just in a swamp collecting these vines right here, and that's what I saw. In fact, let's just go do something. Go into something that's... I said we're going to make this place look disgusting. We haven't done it yet, but if you want to look at a disgusting place, just look at this build right here. It definitely needs a bit of love. And also that storage right there. What can I get rid of that we don't actually need right now? We don't need 2 extra oak leaves, because I don't want that stuff to despawn. I had plans for him, and I don't want them to go away. So let's head into here and into here. Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you. Good. All right. So what we need to do here is we need to make this area look a bit more gross and disgusting. And not in terms of my building, as I said just before. This one's legitimately going to look gross and disgusting. So let's take out these things here. In fact, this actually might not be a bad idea. Even though I just got rid of it, this might not be a bad idea just to add in a bit of difference to this area. We can even get rid of some of this a bit later. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. One of those, one of them, and that in over there. Break, break, break. So that's going to add in something. We probably don't want to do that the whole way, so we'll do some of these like this, and this will be something like this. And now what we want to do is we want to start getting things growing in here, because that's what happens in these sorts of places. You get little leaves growing down the sides. Let's put a bit of this in here, and maybe even, I think I brought birch. Wonderful. The birch is going to go so well just down the sides here, like that. And then also maybe a little bit of stuff growing on the bottom, which is where I found this on our trip over to the, what is the biome? The swamp biome. We got ourselves some dirt. And, well, not we got ourselves some dirt for this. We got ourselves some dead bushes. Quit reading what you just switched to, Jansey. It's like we got ourselves some, let's just do that, and stop. Diamond shovel. And I guess that's exactly what your brain does when you're trying to think about too much stuff at once. Think about the build, think about what I'm going to be doing in this video a bit later, and all that sort of stuff. You know, just you sometimes get carried away. All right, now I've forgotten where I was at, but that's all right. We've got more things to discuss here, because this build is full of random, weird little things like that. So let's just take a look. It's kind of gross. Yes, we went to the swamp biome. That's it. To get some of these, so we could get these into here, like this. Make it a little bit more overgrown. In fact, you know what? I don't know where I heard it, but the other day someone mentioned in, I think it was a video or a stream or something along those lines, that that it'll be great to get these things, be able to collect these things in survival without just finding a temple. And I'm not too sure how many people have fallen for that trap. They do exist now in the game. They certainly do. And I think a lot of people just never realized the update. I think it was update 1.8 when those came in, and even that and Cobblestone, Mossy Cobblestone, that's it. They both exist, and it's just funny because a lot of people don't know that, and it's still kind of crazy to me. So get these guys out here, freshly baked, and we will pop these away once and for all, so that I don't have to worry about them. And in fact, you know, we'll keep that grass with us. We might be able to find a spot for the grass. Although I put the dead bush down, I think we might be able to find a spot for the grass. Let's just go here. Yeah, that's looking very, very cool. So jump down. I think I can land in one of these, which is good. And then we can put in, where are they? There they are. A few of these around the place, because it's meant to be broken down, degraded. It's not taking care of this place. It's looked after by pirates. I mean, they don't have a... There's definitely a name for pirates not really looking after things, so we'll do that a little bit. Perfect. All right, that is turning out very, very cool. And of course, this will be a big pipe leading out to the ocean here. That's the idea. But we can deal with that in the next episode. I think it's more important for us to do it in the next episode, because it's a whole other story in that one. But before we go and finish off a bit more of this stuff, I want to get this tree changed to a bit of plain jungle. I'm very well aware of how cool these do look, and I think having 2 varieties of palm tree in this world are going to make a very big difference. And there's also a good reason for that, is having the different trees around the place breaks up the monotony of all the same tree around the place. It's just it's so much better to just add in a second variety of tree, and I don't think it's too far out of the norm to make it a secondary palm tree. I think that's fairly all right, if you ask me. So we'll go down 1, 2, and I guess I'll just do this before I forget about him. And we go down there, and this one in here like that, and we need one more of those. It's always painful making more of these completely, what are they even called? I know these are called oak logs, jungle logs, sorry. These jungle wood. Okay, wood versus log. Gonna have to get that. That's something that is going to be a lot of getting used to. That was 1 block out, and there it is perfectly. Let's go check if the theory is correct, that this will look good. I've got good high hopes for this one. Let's go all the way around and flip around. Perfect. Perfect. That's actually really, really good. I think this over here, a bit of the gray. In fact, we could maybe change over this one as well and keep the really tall ones in the gray because the gray looks so good and it does. It fits what palm trees actually look like. They're more of a gray color in terms of the ones I see around Australia. Those are the ones, but you know how they are. We get a few brown ones, I guess. So let's change those around. And then we can also make this area here. I want to just elevate a little bit more of this area. So as we walk over here, we could walk up and see into it because there's a lot of good stuff in here going on. Like that is a world of detail in there right now, and I don't want to lose that. In fact, maybe let's put a torch down there as well. Make a little bit of light coming out there, and we'll wait for the next nighttime. The night is upon us, and it has actually been one of those things where I did everything that I thought would take 10 minutes, and then I just waited. Because of course, it when you don't need the time to go fast, it flies past, but the other way works as well. So what I'd like to do here, and by the way, actually, I've just, my headphones have been messing up on me. So there is a little bit of an issue where there's no game sounds for today's episode, but thank goodness it's just game sounds that weren't here. So, yeah, you guys might be weirded out by the fact that I was talking about how zombies were making noises and stuff without you even hearing it. Because, you know what? That's just what's happening today. It just seems to be the thing of the day. You know what I mean? And, that's just how it's going. So let's just go through here. Lighting is looking good on the outside of this, but inside here, just a little bit too bright, I think. But that's all right. That's still good. I can live with that. We can maybe push this torch back or make it a little bit less bright. I think that's going to work wonderfully. Alrighty, that seems like a good thing. Also, don't forget, I've done this thing and I wanted to do this, but I didn't end up doing it. And there, and here. So now we've got a little thing as well. There we go, my little thing to look into here. So thank you everybody for joining me here today. As I say, it is a fantastic little build. I do love it, and I think we will be doing some cool rock building and terrain changing to the side of this in the next episode. So I think that's going to look really, really cool. But thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you very, very soon.